I made it. Okay, I'm wearing my second-hand dress. I have here my packaging waste for the yellow recycling bin. I brought my water bottle and my container for food in case there's any leftover. I'm doing the best I can. I really am. But is it enough? I can't be the only one feeling this way. Maybe, with a show of hands, is there somebody else who does something similar like I am doing? Okay, I'm definitely not alone. This is comforting. But how do we know that this is enough? How do we know that we're making an impact? Over the last 10 years, as a trainer and consultant, I've worked with businesses, policymakers, and citizens, including teenagers who, by the way, know way more about sustainability than some of their elders combined. And it doesn't matter what is the context, but people are always capable of coming up with really cool ideas for sustainable businesses, policies that should be in place to reduce pollution, or community action. But once they start developing their ideas, they run into a roadblock. Can you guess what it is? It's the system we operate in. The current economic system operates on some simple rules: free market, and the market regulates itself. On paper, yes. In reality, not so much. The free market is driven by price. Minimize costs, maximize profits. Let's add to this soup also corporate greed, unhealthy social norms, and the short-sightedness of those in power. We get a mixture of a system that is exploiting us and our planet. This soup is overboiling, and it has led us to the triple planetary crisis of waste pollution, climate change, and biodiversity loss. And it's inevitable that we need to change our ways of working. One little tiny part of the solution is circular economy. Circular economy has two simple principles. First, you try to reduce the demand for virgin raw materials, and secondly, you try to keep the existing products and materials in use, meaning we don't let them to become waste, not mention that we burn them for energy or we put them to landfills. So let's take a very simple example that you all have in your pockets: a smartphone. In a circular economy, smartphone is designed to last. It's designed to be modular. Through the modularity, it can be repaired. It can be upgraded, so we prolong its life cycle. If the smartphone is beyond repair, then the manufacturer could refurbish it, or then at the end of its life, it can then send it back to circulation through recycling as materials. May I ask, who of you has some old smartphone in a drawer somewhere next to old wires? I'm guilty as charged as well, because it somehow feels really weird to give away like the old phone. You might need it, right? But do you know we're actually all sitting on top of fortune? If we collect 1 ton of smartphones, then those smartphones have 200 to 300 times more gold than today mining like gold ore. So maybe we should get rid of our smartphones, not to just trash them, but give them to circulation. Circular economy has so many more opportunities beyond smartphone recycling. It has opportunities for citizens, cities, and communities. McKinsey has calculated that if we implement circular economy in Europe, by 2030, we could reduce the carbon emissions by 48%. And by the same year, we could also generate economic value $1.8 trillion. That's 6 times the Estonian GDP. So the possibility is enormous. But what happens also in my trainings, because we also discuss the opportunities that the circular economy has, then the question usually is, but who should do it? Who? Is it businesses? Is it policymakers? Or citizens, us? Let's find out. So, asking you, what do you think? You have to decide between those three stakeholders, and let's vote with a show of hands. I can see your hands. Who thinks that the responsibility for implementing circular economy lies with businesses? They should design durable, lasting, circular, repairable products. With a show of hands, all right, I see some hands, really cool. Thank you so much. Who of you thinks that the responsibility should be with policymakers, that they make the policies like pollution much harder, more expensive, and sustainability is like the rewarded thing? Okay, I see hands. This is exciting. But who thinks it should be us as citizens? We demand better products, we demand sustainable products, we consume better products. All right, I see some hands. What is the right answer, you may wonder and think now. I've done this to hundreds of people in my trainings, and the voting usually goes exactly like this. It's a mix of votes, because it's not clear who should take the responsibility. But to be honest, that mix actually represents the correct answer. The correct answer doesn't lie in some golden egg, in one solution that saves us from everything, but the solution lies in us collectively realizing what is the role we play. Am I a business and I can design products that people use, or am I a policymaker? So if we are thinking of our responsibilities, we also have to realize that we're actually making choices every day, not as citizens, not as me, as a Mayri, as a citizen, but me as a Mayri, as a business leader, or as a policymaker, if I would be working in a ministry, right? But as a business or a business owner, you can choose if you want to keep doing business as usual. You don't care about environmental impact, you don't care about reducing your emissions, or you can be a business that goes the extra mile, that designs a system for others that they can get access to reusable container system, or who can get repairable, durable products. Where would you aspire to be on this scale? As a policymaker, you can also do policy as usual, not really struggle to be ahead of time and only act retroactively on things that should be regulated. Or as a policymaker, you could try to make, as I said earlier, polluting really expensive and being sustainable rewarded. Where would you aspire to be on this scale? And as a citizen, you could go to shops, buy, consume, buy more, consume more, and not really think what is the impact it leaves behind. Or you can be like us here, that apparently we carry water bottles or containers with us, or wear second-hand clothes, or prefer public transport over private transport. Where would you aspire to be on that scale? We all have decisions to make in our daily life, every single day. And we need to understand that aside from being citizens, we have decision-making power also in other places. So maybe after today, after this evening, you might think that, maybe there is some potential in rethinking my product, or maybe there is potential of me saying yes to this policy that has been on my table, but I've been kind of blocking it because it's uncomfortable and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Or maybe you also realize that actually all my waste is really packaging and not really anything else. And maybe somebody's thinking, where should I take my smartphone? It's full of gold, apparently. Electronics, recycling, and shops, they take your smartphone happily back and send it to circulation. But I would like to finish with saying that when we embrace our decision-making power in the various roles we have in our lives, then we can make an impact. And only then it will be enough. Thank you.